Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, Home on the Range. That is the first time anybody's mentioned that movie in decades.
All right.
I thought that was like a Yellowstone reference.
Oh, no, but it could be. It was more about a song reference in my head, I guess. So,
I've paused season 4, episode 2 of
yeah,
Yellowstone. I'm loving that show. I'd never seen a Yellowstone episode 2 weeks
yeah,
ago. Now
yeah,
I've started season 4.
right. Dude, it
Really good.
is it is an amazing show, and now you understand why Michelle and I, whatever we were watching, I don't even remember, but I mean, it stopped and we started binging Yellowstone until we
Yep.
were done with the series.
I,
And of course, they're coming out with more, I think, in November. So,
they are the final ones, the final episodes.
yeah, yeah, minus Costner, right?
Yeah, now obviously you can't tell me whether that'll work or not because I've not caught up with you yet, but it'll be interesting. I was watching Yellowstone because I signed up for a cheap deal on Paramount for the
Right.
next 3 months. So I thought I'm going to watch The Mayor of Easttown and
Oh,
Yellowstone.
yeah.
I've watched
Yeah.
maybe 2 episodes of The Mayor of Easttown, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know who Jeremy Renner works for, so this is a bit confusing. However, Yellowstone, I'm into Yellowstone. I know who everybody is. I know who the characters
Right.
are and what's going on. So I'm like, let's put The Mayor of Easttown to one side for now,
Right.
and then focus on Yellowstone. And I was watching season 1, and I watched maybe a bunch of episodes, and I was enjoying it. And I was thinking, this is a good show. I quite like this show. I don't quite get why everybody's like, oh my God, Yellowstone's amazing. It's good, but why? And then I got to maybe episode 7 or 8, and I'm like, oh, this is why. So it's not one of those shows that will take you ages to get into. It doesn't, but it just sort of it ramps up a gear around the end of season 1, and then so far it's not slowed down whatsoever. Who's your favorite character in it?
I mean, I guess Rip, and I like his relationship with, I can't remember her name, but
do you know why I can't remember her name? Because she's horrible. Yeah, she plays it well. She plays it brilliantly. So this is not a critique against her, but as a person, oh my God.
Yeah. Now, well, anyway, just to foreshadow, there is a bit more depth to her character as the seasons go on. So, Rip,
It got to so Wes Bentley plays Jamie, the brother.
Right.
And non-spoilery, she's like really horrible to him. She's like, "Oh, just go die," and I'm like, "I don't get it. Why is she really horrible?" And then it flashes back, and you're like, "Kind of get it now." So it's very clever, but I'm really, really enjoying that show. It's brutal in places.
Oh yeah. Well, the branding.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's a reason for that too, and the reason why people don't ever, once you're a ranch hand, always a ranch hand. So.
Yep.
But yeah, and I think too, it kind of shows the plight of of what we're going through in America. I mean, as far as that too many farmers are getting paid not to raise steer, not to raise vegetables and stuff. And yeah, man, I mean, dude, I'd rather be independent and share with the world than be so reliant on some other countries that maybe we shouldn't be so reliant on. Anyway,
I think it also does a really good job to someone who has not much knowledge of the whole culture stuff. It does a really good job of explaining, the relationship between Americans, as in white Americans, and Native Americans. So it's it doesn't hit you with like 500 history books. It does it in a way where you think, oh yeah, I didn't realize I'd learned stuff. It's it's good, but it could be the favorite show that I'm watching this year, I think, so far.
Yeah, man. And The Mayor of Kingstown is good. We're current with it.
Did I say Easttown? Did I get it mixed up with the Kate Winslet
did, but
one?
That's okay. Yeah, but that's okay, man. Yeah. But, you clarified by saying Jeremy Renner. But yeah, I mean, Michelle and I enjoy that. It's really dark, man. And I think we're in season 3 now. But somewhere in season 2, man, it is outright just extremely brutal. But anyway, I enjoyed it. And to think that he has come back after the snowplow accident and runs and acts and both eyes are connected. And yeah, man, I mean, that's a miraculous story that he could come back from that.
So in The Mayor of Kingstown,
Yeah.
I don't know whether I missed the bit that explained who he works for, but it's like, does he work for the prison, or he doesn't seem to? It's like he's just on the outside, just going, I know a person that can do this, and yet the prison people like let him in, and I don't quite understand that bit, which I think is what's keeping me out of the program. And again, I don't know if I just missed that bit when it was on like an early episode.
Yeah, he is the mayor as far as he is connected to every aspect of danger in the city. So he tries to balance the Crips and the Bloods, the gangs, the drugs, prison, the Russian mafia, all that stuff. So he's the person who, it's like, okay, to appease you, mob boss, I'm going to do this, but then to appease this guy, instead of him lashing out. And so I think what he's trying to do is minimize the collateral damage.
But is he a gangster though, or is he's not the actual mayor, is he? He wasn't voted in, was he?
No, he was not voted in.
He's just like a Tony Soprano type character.
Kind of, yeah, man, yeah. And like his older brother was the mayor until I guess you saw that episode.
Yeah, I saw that
when he was retired. Well, yeah, man. But then he stepped up. He was like, no, this is a necessary evil. And he tries to keep his little brother out of trouble, but it's that little brother syndrome where it's like, no, I've got to be like my big brothers. And yeah, man. But yeah, it's it is brutal and dark, but beautifully shot. I can't remember season 1 as much as what we're in now, but I think they're using, I want to say it's either a Red or Alexa. I can't remember. But I mean, like, low light, beautiful, beautiful shots.
So when I finish and when I catch up to date with Yellowstone, you would recommend Mayor of Kingstown, give that a shot?
We enjoy it. I mean, like, I think it is darker and more brutal than Yellowstone. So, but I mean, you and I watch a lot of the same stuff. So, I mean, I think it's good, but, like that, it's funny. I think the first episode of both Yellowstone and Mayor of Kingstown were extra dark and brutal. And then it's like, okay, now that we have your attention, we're going to tell stories. So.
And where are you on the spin-offs of Yellowstone? Because it's like, obviously it's 1923 or 22, whatever it is. And you're like, well, that's not going to have Costner or Casey or Jamie in it, clearly. And then there's 1883, and you're like, well, that's clearly not going to have any of them in. Why should I go back and watch those? I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I have not seen any of those. We started the one that has who's the cowboy, the mustache, the dude's barmaid. Yeah.
Oh, Sam Elliott. See, that might be a reason to watch it.
Yeah.
He's always
so
cool.
Yeah, and but it just I don't know what it was about that first episode, but I think I fell asleep twice. Maybe I was just tired. I don't know. Maybe I'd worked too hard, but it just didn't grab me. But now that we know Yellowstone rocks, then we probably will go back and watch the other ones, the prequels.
Do you think it'll be as good as the Acolyte? I mean, that's a high benchmark.
Well, let me tell you, dude. I've been thinking about the Acolyte, and I think if it had been a 2-hour movie and that was it, then I just think it's almost like Netflix has done with some series, and I love Netflix, but where they'll say, okay, here's the story, and we've got to make it last 6 episodes or 12 episodes. And Disney can do the same thing with the Marvel stuff too. And but yeah, so I think if they had just said, let's just do a movie, let's do a 2-parter, I think it would have been better. It's I still disagree with a lot of the things canon wise, but whatever, man. But I was amazed when I was looking it up online, because I was like, why do all these people really hate the Acolyte? And mine is purely from a fan perspective, growing up in the 70s where Star Wars was, I mean, like, I was used to the Disney talking mule or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it was just and then along comes Star Wars. I think that was probably, I don't know if that was my first sci-fi movie or not, but just blown away. So I've kept up with it since the beginning. So and maybe it was some of the quotes where Kathleen Kennedy was just like, F the fans, we don't care, we're going to do our own universe, which, okay, I mean, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. But I was looking it up, and people have given the lead actress death threats.
Yeah.
Death threats,
Yep.
man. Why? I don't understand that, man.
Have you we've watched bad films and bad TV shows in our career as film geeks, I'm sure. Have you ever thought, do you know what? I need to find out who made this and threaten their life?
No.
I haven't. No. And I've seen Batman and Robin, and I've seen Rocky and Bullwinkle, and I've seen Wild Wild West and After Earth.
Right.
I've never threatened any of them.
No. I mean, hey, it's like I tweeted after watching I guess it was 2 episodes ago of The Acolyte. I did want my time back, which is an impossibility. I can't, so that's kind of like with the stuff that I've been through due to long COVID. I would love to find COVID in the back alley and just beat the shit out of it. You know what I mean? Like, but that COVID doesn't have a face. And I just feel like, man, a movie or TV show that you don't like, you and I remember a time where Nielsen ratings, and there was, maybe there was cable, but I mean, a lot of it just came through the antenna, and your vote was whether to watch it or not. And that was what drove, and then if you really wanted to raise a stink, then you could say, oh, well, I'm not going to buy Downy fabric softener ever again because they obviously endorse this message. And so you can get to them that way too. And I don't know, man, is it because of quarantine or because of social media? But it just seems like people have lost their minds.
Yeah, I mean, movie watching's a dice roll, isn't it? You go, come on, Michael Bay. Come on, Michael Bay. Oh, Transformers 2. Oh, Jesus.
Right.
Oh, crap time. Go on, he's doing another one.
Right.
3. Oh, it's worse than the second one. It's a crapshoot. I kind of laugh when I watch a bad film. I'm like, oh, well, that sucked. Guess I'll try and choose wisely next time. But some people don't. Some people, certainly with The Acolyte, they're like, oh, episode 1 and 2, I hated it. You're going to watch it next week? Yeah, I have to. No, you don't. You could just, I nearly tapped out. If The Acolyte was like 22 episodes or there was like 6 seasons of it for me to catch up, I would have tapped out at the end of season 1. But I'm like, I've kind of watched 6 and it's okay. I've seen worse things. It's not the best. It's not Star Wars that I remember. It's not Jedi or anything. But I'll just finish it because it's, it's like 10 minutes per episode or whatever it is.
And it's the commitment. You've invested time. And although I guess it was this Tuesday when we saw the final episode, and Michelle and I were eating dinner down here in the movie room, and I was like, what do you want to watch? And I was like, well, there's The Acolyte, and I'm sorry, but we kind of need to watch it because we might as well finish it up. And this, gave the promise that this was the last episode, which was nice, but I got to the end and I was just like, man, I mean, like, you get to the end. Have you seen the final episode?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yep.
So you get to the end and there is a purpose for it, but I don't think it needed that many episodes. I mean, like, I get it. These Jedis lied. There were hidden darkness and stuff. And, all the things that drove Anakin to, become Darth Vader. I mean, I get that. And it's, but man, I don't think it needed to be a series. But at least have you seen the trailer for the new Snow White?
No, but I can imagine the internet is just embracing it with its warm love and affection.
Well, the fact that there's no more dwarves, they're adult men who are like, I don't know, 6 feet tall and they do magic. Snow White is Hispanic, which other people are just,
they're really mad at that. It's like, how dare they? How dare Snow White not be white?
Right. So they want to, they would rather the title change or something. But then Prince Charming, it has been belittled and marginalized. The actress has been, and look, I think everybody needs, if you're going to promote your film or your TV series, be nice, man. Don't be an ass. And so I think that is, and you know how it is, snippets, right? So it's like, when she fed the homeless and talked to a little orphan girl and encouraged her and none of that's going to be seen. It's just her snapping off about, oh no, women don't need men. and that kind of rhetoric. And so I mean, like, I don't know that I care to see it. It was already questionable. But and I'm all about change the story. Not that I have skin in the game, and I don't really care about Snow White, but she was annoying. But man, I just, I don't know. I mean, so it's now just Snow White. There's no more dwarves, which I remember. There's a relatively famous dwarf actor. I think that's politically correct. I apologize. But
otherwise, bye, John. John's now just been cancelled. He's gone the way of Tenacious D. Yep.
That's right. I'm sure they're going to change it before this podcast hits the air. But but he was saying, here is the perfect project to employ me and my brethren, so to speak, the union, the guild of dwarves, whatever.
And there is one, little people, I think they call it. And there is a guild. There is an actual union and a guild because they are employed, and that's great. They get money to feed their families and stuff. Yay.
So when they hear, yay, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, man, live action, we've got work. Sorry, dudes. We're going for normal size people. And man, it's so do you want a quick story about the little people? As far as when I was in high school, we went to because I played tuba, and so we went to this band competition. It was in Virginia Beach. Not that that means anything to you, but it's just up into Virginia. And the hotel that we stayed at was also, they were having a little people convention, like Under the Rainbow or whatever they called it. I can't remember. So me and my girlfriend at the time were sitting in the hot tub, and these dwarves were everywhere. I'm trying to be politically correct for you and your audience, but I mean, when we were getting to the hotel, and we put our luggage onto the dolly thing or whatever, we're pushing it into the elevator, and the elevator was packed, and this little guy said, oh no, there's room for me. He hops on the dolly thing, man.
Wow.
So anyway, but it was fun. Everybody got along. So we're sitting in the hot tub, my girlfriend and I, with some other people, and there was this, and I guess he was somebody famous, I don't know, but this guy would jump into the pool, get out, and get into the hot tub, and he would dive in, right? And then he would get out and just go back and forth. And the number of times he grabbed my girlfriend's knees and butt, and I'm just like, I feel awkward here. It's not like you're Lou Ferrigno and I would call you out. Exactly, man. Exactly. So I was just kind of befuddled, man. Yeah, but anyway, but that was back in the day and age where, I guess, because wasn't Carrie Fisher in something called Under the Rainbow? It was some sort of Wizard of Oz something. I can't remember.
Not sure.
Yeah, I'll look that up. This is why I sat where I sat, so that I could access.
So you can look things up.
Yeah, man. Instead of letting you do all the heavy lifting, right?
I'm not doing any heavy lifting this episode. I'm just going to sit and chat. I'm good.
Good. Yep, Under the Rainbow. Let's see here. Now you can watch me squint since I'm not wearing my glasses. But anyway, yeah, Carrie Fisher and a host of others. I don't know, man. I didn't look it up on IMDb. I went straight to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is too busy asking me for money. So.
It is, yeah. Just don't let them have any money. Just say, no, I'm saving it all to buy Acolyte merchandise.
That's right. We do own Disney stock, and Disney stock has tanked, man.
Is it not doing well?
No, it is not. And of course, they're blaming both Snow White and the Acolyte, which, dude, you and I both read about classic Hollywood back in the, I guess, 30s and 40s, and there was there was a 3-picture deal where 2 of the movies were guaranteed money makers, and the third was experimental, and it really didn't matter if that made money or not because the other 2 were bankable. And so now, and 2, thanks to the internet and people speaking their minds,
they have minds. They really don't.
I don't know. I think it's just between, there's like this part of their heart that's just full of anger, kind of like Sith, and it doesn't even go through the brain to be processed. It just spouts out their mouth in the form of words that they put on the internet for everybody to see until they're scolded or canceled or something. So,
which it does seem to. I was looking it up because I originally thought this crazy increasing nature of hatred started with the 2016 Ghostbusters film. I'm like, that kind of seems like it was the worst one. But then I went further back than that, because Leslie Jones got death threats and everything around that time. You're like, really? The film isn't the 1984 film, but it's not worth threatening somebody's life over. But it goes back to Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar Binks.
Yep. He is
and the
on my list to talk about.
Hatred that he got. And this was, I'm like, well, that can't have been Twitter, because Twitter wasn't around then. So I Googled when Twitter came out. Twitter was launched in 2006. I'm like, well, surely they didn't wait 7 years to have a go at Jar Jar Binks. But people would invite him on talk shows and podcasts just so they could launch into him and say how much they hated him. And then one website or show or whatever leaked his telephone number. And he would pick up the phone and people would be like, you need to die. It's like, so this was pre-social media. So it's, so that's the earliest one I found. I'm sure there's been instances where people are like, I'm going to punch Paul Newman in the face. I hate Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid. But nobody probably went up to him and went, smack. So it's definitely the internet.
Talking about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Admittedly, when I would show that to my kids, because I feel like that's one of the movies that I want to share, we would hit that stupid section where both Butch and Sundance loved that lady and they were going to go on a bike ride. It's a freaking Western, but they're going to go on a bike ride while we're singing Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. And so I would just tell the kids as we were approaching that this was a stupid section where the plot stopped, and I was going to eliminate it for them, for their own good. And so, I think it was maybe 5 years ago, one of my daughters saw it, and they were like, where did this scene come from? It was almost like,
director's cut. Wow. Deleted footage.
Right. But I mean, like, other than talking probably to you and to Jake about it, I'm not going to, call up Robert Redford and say, this is stupid. Paul Newman, I'm never going to buy your salad dressings again, dude. No, man. I edited it. And again, it's, it goes back to Eddie Van Halen writing music for himself. And he said, if you don't like the keyboards, which I wasn't a fan when that album came out, but it grew on me. And I went to see him live in concert, and I was like, man, you're going to miss out if you don't just give it a chance. And so, but I mean, Eddie Van Halen said, if you don't like it, don't buy it. I don't care. And who was it? Offspring. There's a song that starts their album and it says, we're being goofy on this album. And if you're offended by it or you don't like it, then don't listen to it. But it just makes sense, man.
Throughout the year, I mean, we're trying to put logic in the brains of morons that just that have no logic. So we're onto a loser. I don't think we'll solve this problem by the end of this conversation. But part of the beauty of cinema and music is experimentation, isn't it? Everybody thought George Lucas was mental for doing that. That film's never going to work, even when he showed the rough cut. I think there was only Spielberg apparently went, actually, I can see what you're going for, and this will work. Everybody else is like, you're out of your mind.
Right.
If he'd have listened to like the internet, if it was back then, Lucas would never have made Star Wars. He'd be like, no, I'm just going to make a rom-com or something that Woody Allen does, or American Graffiti 2 or something like that.
Right. And supposedly, because of the reviews of, I guess it was from the screening of the Empire Strikes Back and Yoda, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was some documentary that I was watching, and some of his friends said, this is stupid. Yoda's stupid. Trying to say the Force is XYZ is stupid. And supposedly it was his then wife, and I can't remember her name.
Begins with an M, doesn't it? It's not Marjorie, something Martha or something, I think. She begins with an M. She's the one that edited Star Wars, isn't she? I think pretty much.
Yeah, but she was just like, no, you need to leave this in. It's awesome. And so if the naysayers had their way, we wouldn't have Yoda, we wouldn't have aspects of the Force, we wouldn't have some really cool stuff. And I mean, yet no one complained about, oh wait, they're siblings and I don't remember their making out. I just remember there was a kiss, but I don't remember it being some sort of deep drool dripping thing that Jake remembers. Because Jake's like, oh no, man, they were tonguing. I was like,
they were not tonguing. Maybe in Jake's head they were. Maybe in his little twisted, I'm going to rewatch The Wire 500 times a year. Terminator 2 is his porn sort of mentality.
Right.
But the thing is, you didn't know that kiss was weird until Jedi.
That's right.
Because you were like, oh, those two are going to get together. I kind of thought Han Solo was going to get together. Never mind. And then Jedi are like, oh, that was weird, that thing they did 3 years ago. Oh, that's creepy. But do you...
something... Oh, go ahead.
Do you remember... You saw Jedi on the big screen when it came out? Was everybody really mad at Ewoks at the time? I don't remember everybody going crazy about Ewoks at the time. I remember some people going, not really a fan of those, but nobody was like, burn them all and let's eat them for breakfast.
I was just grateful to have a third movie. So I don't know that I really thought much about the Ewoks. And, you know, let's face it, man, looking at the aliens in the bar and in New Hope, and, you know, but they didn't move their mouths other than Greedo. I mean, they were just sitting around having a drink, you know, the devil guy and whatever, which I don't understand why some of those characters were pulled out by Lucas in the reimagining or whatever. But whatever, man, this is your movie. But so other than seeing a zipper and thinking, damn, couldn't they have just like brushed his hair a little bit better? The one actor who stuck his tongue out, I was like, wow, that makes him more believable. They don't blink, but we have a president that doesn't blink. So, I mean, it's not like, it's, so, I mean, you know, and then when they did the, you know, re-edition or whatever, and the Ewok zippers were gone, yay. And then they blinked, okay, whatever, man, you know. But I enjoyed it. But I did like the reimagining ending after the prequels were done, so that you had the whole galaxy having, you know, like a big party.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
I didn't miss the Nuck Nuck song, the little Ewok song.
I did a little bit, but not enough to go, Dear George, I'm coming for you. You're sincerely anonymous.
Like, I can see you now ringing the doorbell. George Lucas.
Yeah, exactly.
Going in with your Uzi.
Yes.
After you drove up in your After you drove
throwing
up
my
in
Star Wars toys
wagon.
at him. Have them back, you childhood ruiner.
Right. There was a funny article that I read somewhere in the last couple of weeks where, you know, people were commenting about, you know, the original trilogy. And they said, why did no one wonder where the Ewoks found clothes for Leia, with all of them being very small? And good question, man. Maybe they're really quick with the seamstress stuff, you know?
I think so.
Yeah. Of course, I think it would have been easier to put her in a bikini like Jabba had, because surely that would have been faster to put together. But, you know, it was nice to have her in.
I wonder what the time scale was when they first found Leia to when. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. I'm going to watch that differently when I'll be like, let me just. And if it's wrong, I'll be like, Dear George and Kathleen, coming for you. But the thing is, it's like we watch these films as kids and we've seen them dozens of times whilst we're adults, and we never thought of that. But yeah, I think there is an element.
We were grateful to have awesome movies, you know?
But there's an element now that do watch, like the Acolyte, they're there with the thing going, right, well, he set off from Coruscant at this time. He set off from that time. So there's actually 6 hours difference. How did they both arrive at the same? And they do, and they go, gotcha. I often watch a film, I think Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. Have you seen that?
Yeah, man, it was good.
So when that came out at the cinema, I didn't see it at the cinema. I watched it on a video on demand thing.
Right.
Comes out of the cinema, the internet's like, half of it's like, yay, this is fun, but it's not as good as the original. Like, I'm okay with that. Then there was another element where like, this is just a demon of movies. This should be burned at the stake, and let's put it in
It's
the
a
wicker man.
blasphemous movie.
And then, exactly, how dare they? Like, well, they're only making it to make money. Yeah, guess what? That's why they made the first one, because they wanted to make money. That's why they call it the movie business.
Right.
But these people kept banging on about this film is woke, it's terrible, it's filled with lesbian undertones. So I went into Frozen Empire. I'm like, let's see where these lesbian undertones.
You were waiting on it, weren't you?
I was waiting on it. I'm sitting there watching it with Annette. I'm like, any minute now, the lesbian undertones will be here. And I didn't see them. I could see where people thought they saw them. If they look at something and go, if I tilt my head that way and do this and then add 3, I could call it a lesbian. But it's like, I just saw one kid who wasn't being treated well by adults and wanted a friend, and she found a friend, and it was great. They both happened to be women. I don't know lesbian undertones. That's just teenagers hanging around.
Right. Well, you remember Tango and Cash? Oh, I'm sorry, man. You were mid-thought. Carry on, dude.
No, that was it. It's just like, I didn't see it, but they did. Because it's crazy.
Yeah, well, and I think, like Tango and Cash, there's the hilarious scene where they're in the shower, right? And Stallone drops the soap, and then whatever, who's it? I can't remember. I think Stallone was Tango, maybe it was Cash, but anyway, Stallone drops the soap, and Kurt Russell immediately goes, "Oh, I'll get it," and Stallone was like, "No." Anyway, that didn't leave a mark back then. Nope. You know what I mean? But if they did it today, it would be like, oh, wait a minute. I think they're into each other.
They would either be going, oh no, look, it's woke, they've got homosexual undertones, or they'd be like, oh, one of those characters, because he was like, whoa, he's being homophobic, and they would be all over it and try and kill him. It's just like, just watch a film for being a film. So much easier. Films are meant to be fun, aren't they?
Dude, that is a part of my notes. It's almost as though you have hacked my computer. But
I have.
Yeah, man.
Disney first, and then you.
But like movies is a form of escape. So escapism should be freedom. It should be an escape from the troubles of the day, so that we can just enjoy stuff. So why would even if the movie was lame, even if it didn't make total chronological sense, even if there were plot holes, have you not escaped your life for an hour, 3, whatever? You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that you have to love it, man. It's like the Hobbit trilogy. I don't even know how many of those there were. But
3, because it's a trilogy, John. 3.
Well, as soon as I said trilogy, I was thinking.
I don't know how many's in this trilogy.
I was guessing, because once they started showing whoever the hell it was, Bilbo, disrespect in his own house. They were singing, throwing his plates around. I'm like, I'm gonna go grab another beer, and I think I'm gonna go read a book. So the rest of the family finished it up, and they were like, it was okay or whatever. But there was some heart missing, I feel. But that was my own deal. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I started a tirade against it. I think
Dear Peter Jackson.
Right? Yeah. Take Weta and shove it up your ass.
I'm never watching anything that Weta's involved in ever again. I'm done.
And it's we watched Tequila Sunrise over the weekend.
I've seen that for years. It's good.
Oh
good
my
movie.
Gosh, man. Yeah. It is just as beautiful. But there is one scene that is so stupid, and there is very little payoff for it, but it was almost like they got to the end of the movie and they said, okay, so you've got this cat notifying people that somebody has arrived, right? And so where did the cat come from? Oh, well, we'll just go back and shoot this little scene where Mel Gibson is sitting there watching TV, looks over, there's a cat meowing, and he says, wow, shut up, or whatever the line was. And so it just seemed like a weird hangnail. It just, but I get it. I understand why they did it. But, that was back in the 80s when you could do that. It was like, nah, we're going to fix this little plot hole with a little, addendum to that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, plot holes are a thing. I think you go back and watch any movie, even the ones that everybody loves, Shawshank or Casablanca or whatever. You sit long enough, you'll be able to find a plot hole. You go, what? Not every question has to be answered, I don't think.
No.
Why is that this? Where does that come from? Don't care. Just entertain me. Perform for me, actors.
Right, that's right. Are you not entertained, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So what do you think about part 2?
I thought the idea of a Gladiator 2 was really stupid. And because it's like, and I became one of those people going, why? We don't need that. And I hate that because we don't really need any film, to be honest. They're filmed, they're meant to entertain. And then I heard the cast.
And it told the complete story. Yeah.
And I'm like, the cast is pretty good, though. You got Denzel, you got Paul Mescal in there. It's like, it's not a bad cast. Ridley Scott's hit and miss. He has been over the past few years, where it's like, again, it's a dice roll. You're like, ooh, like Hannibal, hey. And then you get, oh, Exodus. Oh, God. Right. But then I saw the trailer, and I'm like, this actually looks really good. Other than the rap song in it, which everybody's gone mad about that. Dude, there is no place for a rap song in a Gladiator movie. It's not going to be in the movie. Look, it's in the trailer. That's a trailer. Not if there's rap songs over the soundtrack in the movie, I'd be very surprised and very disappointed at the same time. All right, what did you think?
Oh, I mean, like, it looks like everything we've had before and more, you know, plus the rap song, which kind of reminded me of A Knight's Tale when I was watching that for the first time. And when they don't just play Queens, We Will Rock You, it is everybody actually stomp clapping. And I'm like, what is I don't understand this. But then, so I stopped watching that movie too. 15 years later. Michelle says, this is my daughter's favorite movie. We should watch it. And I'm like, okay. And damn if it wasn't good, man. It's really good. But because I got in my own way, I missed it when it came out. But going back to Gladiator 2, I mean, it looks fine. I enjoyed seeing Russell Crowe get frustrated by, he's evidently doing press for his band. And people are like, hey, yeah, man, what do you think about the new movie? His response was amazing. I'll send you a link, man. Oh, my gosh. It's just like, all right, for the 500th time, you know, I don't know anything, you know, and I'm not in it because I'm dead. You know, he was very emphatic about it. So,
and hopefully some of that's, well, you don't know with Russell Crowe, whether he's joking or not. I might throw a phone at your head.
That's right. I think he's been humbled enough over the years that maybe he wouldn't do that. Maybe he would just throw some shade, but probably not a phone, man.
No.
Because I think that was at the height of his career, which he is no longer there. And I think he's happy because he can, you know, eat donuts and drink booze. Now, this is what I hear him saying. It's not me, you know, being mean. Because we'll get on to that in a minute. But anyway, man, he's doing his band thing, and he can grow out a big beard, look like Santa Claus. I mean, dude, more power to him. I mean, like, if everybody could do something that made them happy, the world would be a better place. Yeah.
I think if you want the world to be a better place, just stay off the internet, I think.
Yes. No, dude, I don't hit it like I used to. Man, that sounded very sordid, but
I don't. And I used to live on Twitter and Facebook and stuff, and I still jump on and off now, but I don't feel the need to go, right, and I'm going to have a bath. I need to check my tweets while I'm there because I might miss one. I'm like, I'm good. I often have an afternoon where I don't even check. But I saw at the weekend, everybody was like, Jack Black was trending.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I'm like, so why is Jack Black trending? What's he done now? Or what's he in now? Or what's going on? And I read the story, and then I ended up putting a tweet out going, just to be sure, everybody's mad at Jack Black because of something Kyle did.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I don't quite. Why is Kyle not trending? It's Jack Black, and everybody's mad at Jack Black for doing, in my opinion, kind of doing a smart thing. To be fair, protecting his career.
Right. And dude, you know how it is when you're interviewing somebody and they do something crazy, and you don't, or they say something that's just like, I can't believe you just said that, did that, whatever. I mean, like, I was being interviewed by this one actress. Anyway, this was 10 plus years ago. But anyway, I was trying to be kind, and I'm like, I've never seen you in anything. I mean, you know, but I know you're great in doing, you know, like, she was into martial arts, and she said, oh yeah, and I can put my fist in my mouth. Doop! And I'm like,
whoa.
Do I applaud? Does it make me a dirty old man if I say, yeah, whatever? I don't know, man. So that, when there are certain times, just like when Jack Black said, what do you wish for on your birthday? And he said, for them not to miss Trump next time.
Yeah.
What do you do, man? You're in front of a crowd. And I mean, yeah, he could have just bitch slapped Kyle and kept on going. But yeah, so then I think people are mad at Jack Black for saying, you know what, that was wrong, and I'm canceling the tour. But yeah, man, dude, and so, but he's not the only one. Kyle's not the only one who has said things like that.
No,
there have been so many other.
Yeah, my timeline was filled with lots of people saying stuff like that, and it's like, I ain't one of them. I'm like, you know what, I'm staying out of that stuff. But I saw a lot of it, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And again, it ties back to the snarkiness of people's simplification of violence. I watched the film. It sucked. Kill the producer. Well, don't kill the producer. Just realize you've watched something you didn't like and try and choose wisely next time. It's not the only film left that you can watch. Pick something else. We all pick crap films. It's quite common.
Yeah. And sometimes because we set the bar low, we really enjoy it. It's like Axel F. Excellent movie, man.
Oh, really was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? Judd.
Reinhold.
Oh, yeah. He's got a different look going on, and I'm not going to say beyond that, but
he has.
Yeah. So, but yeah. I thought it was an outstanding movie. Now, and then the other guy, the other cop, who's the police chief, I really don't think they needed to put the black dye in his hair. I don't know what that. How did that help this character? He still looked the same. He just looked, like grandpa. But yeah, man, awesome movie. I really laughed a lot. And I don't know if you've encountered Bunny on Mayor of Kingstown, but he was one of the guys who were robbing the stadium. And it was just kind of cool seeing him doing the same role. And obviously a lot of his face scars are legit. But it's funny how, it's like, I recognize all these people. There's Bunny, yay! And he's a gangster in Mayor of Kingstown. So,
but we watched Axel F. So we sat down. I was very excited. I'm like, I'm gonna watch it because I'm still remembering the third one. The third one's watchable, but it ain't great. I love 1 and 2. If I'm ranking them, it's 2, 1, 4, 3 for me.
Yeah.
And we sat down and watched 4, and the music beats. I'm like, oh my god, they're playing Shakedown. You've got me. Unless you ruin it, you got me. Right. And then the Pointer Sisters were coming. I'm like, you still got me again. And we thought it was great. And then you go online and you've got people going, this was terrible. I'm like, what did you watch? What did you
really? What was their beef, man?
Just
I
that
don't even understand that.
It relied on nostalgia, and it's like, well, yeah. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with nostalgia? How dare you? You made me feel happy like I did years ago. How dare you? And they were mad. Oh, it just relied on like the old things and to remind us of the old Beverly Hills Cop. Right. That's usually what sequels do. Maybe not always, but usually that's what they do.
But maybe Beverly Hills Cop and calling this one Axel F. Maybe there was a break in their brain, and they were just like, "This reminds me of that other movie,"
Possibly.
I don't know, man. I don't know. So, have you been watching House of Dragon?
I'm up to date on that. Yeah.
Excellent, man. Yeah.
Cheaper than the Acolyte. How is that $50 million cheaper than the Acolyte?
That, and then their torches work, man. I'm just saying. I mean,
they
still
do.
That the faulty lightsabers where it's like, oh wait, oh yeah,
Yep.
Anyway, but have you ever seen a TV series called Con Man? It has Alan Tudyk in it, and you've seen him in Firefly and Serenity, and then he did some weird TV show where he was an alien. And that was
he was in Rogue One as well, wasn't he? He's a robot or whatever in Rogue One, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Wasn't TKSO or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, this is kind of like a character based on his life, where he's having trouble getting any parts that aren't sci-fi, and he's really not popular. So he's riding on his previous fame.
Okay.
And so Con Man, he goes out to the cons, and dude, it is hilarious. Michelle and I cannot watch it too close to bedtime because we will just laugh and laugh and laugh, and then we're not relaxed. We're not ready to go to sleep. But it's on Amazon Prime over here in the States, and
yeah.
I mean, like, I'd seen it, and it was one of those, what is it, GoFundMe things or whatever, where,
Okay.
you know, he raised money to do season 1. And then evidently a network said, hey, you know what? You are funny. This is great. But the number of cameos, it's absolutely amazing. And so, yeah, but it's stupid funny. And they, in one episode, Lou Ferrigno is a part of it, and they do a musical. I mean, I'm not going to give anything away, but it is hilarious. Yeah.
Okay, I shall check that. Is that a newish show? So it's like within the past year or two?
Dude, 2016, I think.
2016, so it's a few. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just sheer luck that I was just like, you know, we're caught up on everything. Let's just take a look at this. And for something to make Michelle and I both laugh as hard as we do, that's because she and I have overlapping senses of humor, but then we both go in opposite directions. And I laugh at the Deadpool stuff, and she laughs at the, I don't know, more, you know, wholesome comedy.
Yeah.
And then another thing that we found that is not new, but it's Blackbird.
This is the is this the Ray Liotta?
Yeah, with Taron Egerton.
Yeah, Edgerton.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one. No.
Dude, phenomenal, based on a true story. And I mean, I've seen Ray Liotta in so many different movies and TV shows, and he's always given a phenomenal performance. But this one, to me, was just it went above and beyond. I was going to say off the chain, but I don't really understand what that even means, other than like a dog off the chain.
It might be a bike, might be a biker thing where the chain comes off, and I don't know.
You know what? And that is no fun at all. And,
no.
And then random side story. A friend of mine and I used to ride bikes when we were in high school, and then even when we both started college, and then decided we'd backpedal. That's another bike joke. But so we're on our bikes, and I've got my sneakers on, and he's got these flip flops. Well, at some point,
no, I'm guessing flip flops on a bike. I can see where this is headed.
Man, you know where this is going. So we are sailing down a hill, and then all of a sudden he's gone, and I look back, and I mean, like, he is a dot, because we were going pretty fast. And his flip-flop had gotten tangled up in the spokes of the rear tire. Thank God it wasn't the first, or he would have gone head over. But yeah, man, it was hilarious.
Was he okay? Sort of?
Yeah.
Right, good.
Dude, this was the kind of guy, and he still is, where, you know, he could walk into a room, trip over a ottoman, kind of, you know, Van Dyke style, do a roll, come back up, and he's okay. And he doesn't even turn red, man. Yeah, he just keeps on going. So, you know, I slowed down, he caught up with me, and then we continued on. So,
I didn't want to be laughing, and then you're like, and he died. I'm like, Jesus. let me just make a note of an edit that I've got to do to this podcast.
He was a great guy.
He was a great guy. A flip-flop incident.
Right.
Yeah, the only thing I've been watching is Yellowstone. So.
Oh. This is the same guy. When we graduated high school, and a group of 8 of us went to the beach for graduation. I don't know if you guys do that in England or not, but when we graduated high school, we went down to the beach, and he was, I mean, like, he didn't drink, he didn't stare at all the bikini babes, nothing, because he had a girlfriend, and he was, you know, and so he'd read books and stuff. But at some point, he went down to the beach, and it's like there was this sandbar that you couldn't see, right? And so he goes running and dives in what should be 3 feet of water, and it's a sandbar, splits his face open, and then the jackass friend of mine who was out there with him brings him up to the room and says, Mike just got his ass kicked. And I'm like, then we're all going down there. Where is this guy? And then Mike admitted that he just dove into
the sandbar.
Right.
They jump in, start pounding the seabed. John's of Anarchy, right. That sort of thing. A biker gang name right there.
That's exactly. Although I can see one of my friends just smacking the water, right? Ah, take that.
Jellyfish flying everywhere, coral from one end to the other. Yeah,
that's right. That starfish moving like Neo in the Matrix. Anyway,
screw you, SpongeBob.
That's right. That's it.
Oh, so yeah, no, I haven't watched too much. Annette and I, we finished our Pixar marathon. 26 or 27 films, I think we did. So we watched them all, other than Inside Out 2, which we've not seen yet. So we watched them all, and she suggested the next franchise, the Saw movies.
Right. How's that going?
I have the box set. She bailed out on number 3. She's like, I'm done.
Oh, really?
I can't watch this. Number 1's really good. I don't know if you've seen them all. Number 1's a really good thriller. Number 2's pretty good. Number 3's like, hey, we know why people like Saw movies. Blood, guts, and torture. It's like, that's not why I like the Saw movies. I like them because they're psychological thrillers with a bit of darkness to them. No, blood and guts. So we bailed out, and now she's started her Disney classics watch through. So she's currently downstairs watching Bambi. So,
cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's Jigsaw is the bad guy in the Saw movies, right? Yeah. And is he really a puppet that rides a tricycle, or was that just another?
He's in the film. He uses a puppet to sort of be like a little speaker to speak to people, so that he's out the way.
That's his evil
emoji.
Emoji.
That's his evil emoji. Yeah. So that the puppet is a real thing. But there is a real person within the movies who is Jigsaw.
Gotcha.
So if you've not seen them, the first one's amazing. The first one's really good.
I think I watched it and I forgot it. So
two people in the bathroom. They wake up. They're both chained to like pipes, and there's a dead body in the middle, and then this little tape comes on, going, "You've got to do this sort of game to get out." And that's pretty much the first one. Very good, very clever.
Does that have what's his head from? Princess Bride?
Yeah, Carrie Elwes. Yeah.
So that's that one. When he said, "This is what you need to do," he said, "As you wish." Is that
as
the way it rolled?
Prepare to die. Yes, he did. You kill my father. Yeah. Which is a film Annette hates. She won't watch Princess Bride. Hates it.
Really? It's a fun movie, man. It's a classic.
The other film she really, really hates with a passion is Airplane.
No way.
I mean, why I'm still with her, I don't know, but it's like, how could you hate Airplane?
Right.
It's amazing.
Is there anything in particular?
It's stupid. Just like the stupid humor. I'm like, that's why it's a classic.
Looks like I picked a bad week to give up Sleeping Blue.
Exactly.
Man.
Don't call me Shirley. I'm laughing my head off. I even watched that film. It was on TV once, and I just muted it because there was people in the room. I was laughing watching it without the sound on because you could see shit hitting the fan and all sorts. Like, this is the funniest thing ever. I don't get it.
When the autopilot starts to deflate and whatever her name is trying to reinflate it, and they open the door. Oh, okay. Dude, it's funny. That and then the Jello scene as a kid, I thought that was amazing. Yep. And my uncle who lived in Manhattan, he found out that I went to see it. And he was like, "Oh, so you saw the PG version?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Wait a minute. But you're talking about Jello." And I was like, "Yeah, it had nudity and everything." I mean, I was a little kid. Yeah. I enjoyed it. And he was just dumbfounded at why my mom let me go see that movie.
and then you fast forward to now, and some of the things you see on House of the Dragon. Whoa, it's on a television show. I've seen things on that show I haven't even seen in real life. Like, Jesus.
You're right. Yep.
Crazy. So what's your thoughts on House of the Dragon so far?
I like it. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I mean, we watched Game of Thrones all the way to the end. And so, going back and seeing the prequel, for less of a better term, I mean, it's fun. There are certain things that we could probably do without. I mean, it's just kind of like, oh, wait a minute, we need to bump our ratings up, so I'm going to just stand there butt naked and talk to my asshole brother. Anyway, I mean, it's whatever, dude. I mean, somebody thought that was a good idea. So, and maybe back in the day, that was the super insult, I don't know.
Maybe that's what the Acolyte needed. All we need is a full frontal nudity and just get me 2 Jedi. Right, you blow him. It's like, what? Maybe, I don't know. Possibly.
I don't know, man. I mean, we'll see what Deadpool brings to the Marvel/Disney universe. So,
how big do you think Deadpool v Wolverine's going to be? Because you hear some projections out, it's going to make 250 million its opening weekend. It's like, is it? Is it going to be huge, or it's going to be popular?
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot that we've been waiting to see, and I think if it had somehow been kept under wraps, right, until the week before, and I'm not saying don't do some teasers or whatever, but to have a trailer showing Wolverine in his yellow outfit, dog pool, Lady Deadpool, all this stuff, right? I think they should have kept it closer to the chest and not revealed so much. But I mean, they still haven't done as much as Age of Ultron, where we had pretty much seen the movie out of order by the time we had.
Which Spider-Man film was it? It was one of the Spider-Man, I think it was the second, it was Andrew Garfield one, I think, where it's like, and here's trailer number 14. You're like, really? Right. It's only 7 minutes long as well. It's all new footage. Like, seriously,
right?
No,
yeah, man.
We're all going to watch it.
That makes me just want to wait. But I mean, Michelle and I probably will go see it in the movie theater as much as I don't know, man. With the standard moviegoers now being so frustrating to me, like don't look at your phone, don't answer the phone, don't talk on your phone,
don't talk at all.
Right. But at least, I mean, like, I do feel like I'm more with family in a comic book movie. In that it seems like everybody's into it, and if they talk, it's relevant. It's like, oh, I can't believe Deadpool said that, or oh, look at Dogpool, and so it's relevant and it's nerdy, and I'm okay with that. But so I don't know, man. I have no idea what to expect from it, how much money it'll make. There's a lot of people who have been anxiously awaiting it, and they've certainly done a ton of press to promote it. So I hope it does well. I mean, Disney needs something at this point.
They do.
Our stocks need a little boost. Did you see the South Park episode where they made fun of Disney?
No, but the South Park thing is interesting because Annette was talking with one of her daughters and she was mentioning South Park. Yeah. And the kids were allowed to watch that when they were small. And Annette was like, it's a cartoon, it's fine. I'm like, have you ever seen South Park? She went, no. So I'm like, let me get on the internet. So I Googled, because I've seen some of South Park, but I haven't seen all of them. But I remember a really funny one when one of the kids joins the Special Olympics. And it was one of like season 8 or something. It was. So I found that episode. I'm like, let's just put this on. And Annette's face was like, oh. And then, so she was like, I used to let my kids watch this. I'm like, well, clearly you did. And then she was talking to one of her daughters, and she's like, oh, if you like that one, you've really got to watch the one when the human centipede's in it. So I found that one, put it on, and that was horrified. She was like, oh my God. So she wants to watch all of South Park. So we're gonna be investigating a lot of South Park, but I haven't seen the Disney one. Is that a newish one? Is that an older one? Or?
I have no idea, man. I forget who was talking about it on a podcast. And so I looked it up. And of course, we have Paramount Plus. And then I found the episode and I started it while Michelle was in the shower. And then she came out of the shower and I was like, oh, well, I'll finish this later because I know my wife's sensibilities, right? And I know South Park is not going to get any lighter with profanity. And, but anyway, and she was like, oh, no, go ahead. I think the kids used to watch this. So it's a similar story. And then we got to the end of it. And she was like, is the language always that rough? And I was like, yeah, man.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But anyway, to hear Cartman call his mom in because he's having a bad dream, right? And it's a nightmare. And anyway, he says, Mom, check under the bed. I think Kathleen Kennedy is under there. And I'm like, what? Did he really just say that? And oh my God, dude, the whole episode is slamming Disney, Kathleen Kennedy, the multiverse. I thought it was hilarious.
I'm going to dig that out and watch that tonight, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing with South Park. You just pop it on. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
You know, like, I
Which
don't
episode,
understand
which
it.
season.
Do I have to
Right.
watch all of them to understand this one? No, you know, you just jump in whenever you want. There's too many South Parks to watch them all, but.
Oh yeah. Well, unless you want to have, that kind of, every evening, for the next 5 years. Yeah.
I think if I watched like 150 episodes of South Park, I could have watched the latest Kevin Costner film in that time. So,
Dude, it looks epic, but then somebody was telling me, "Oh no, this is like one of 4. It's telling a whole story," and I'm just like, "No, thanks." Yeah,
It's telling one of 4, but I don't think we'll ever see 3 and 4.
I doubt it.
Which is a shame. I like Costner. Yeah. But a lot of people are mad. I'm not watching it. Why not? Because he left Yellowstone. Really? You're mad? You're mad? You're not watching a film that you might think looks good or doesn't because he left the TV show? It's what actors do. But
have you seen the new trailer for the new what is it, Captain America? Where Harrison Ford is in there, and they said you look different, and he said, "Yeah, they told me to lose the mustache or I was out of a job." And so that was a good, almost kind of like when Cheetah replaced, oh my gosh, whatever his name is, in as Rhodey in Iron Man.
Yeah.
Because that was another thing, right in the middle of a trial, and then Tony makes some comment about, you don't look quite the same or whatever, right? And it smoothed it right on over. We know. So with a wink and a nod, boom, man, we're beyond it. So but that looked pretty good, man.
It did. Yeah, it looked pretty good. And that was watching. Where's Captain America? I'm like, that is Captain America, because where's Chris Evans gone? No, he's not. No, not there anymore. He gone. He's left.
Yeah.
But it looks fine. I think there's a lot of good films coming out.
Yeah, and some are from Disney, Marvel. So yeah, man.
But a lot of people
Disney,
are mad.
Star Wars.
A lot of people are mad at Disney. It's like, why? They are, and they're pushing their political agendas. Guess what? That's always been a thing since before you were born too. There's always been agendas pushed by studios.
Yeah, right. 100%, man. And it's you look over the years, and Hollywood has always been very liberal. Their movies have always been very liberal, and I just think they're a little more outspoken nowadays on the press junkets, where like, you remember Chris Evans when somebody said, "Oh yeah, here are these 2 ladies kiss and whatever, Buzz Lightyear," and he was like, "Oh, don't be one of those stupid people." And then, man, people were like, "F you, Chris Evans, man." And he was sharing his opinion, but I think he knows that the movie has to do well for there to be more, for him to be, and he can't, pull a Jack Black and just go, "Oh, okay."
Well, it's like if you're appearing in a new Marvel movie and you're on a press junket and somebody goes, "So John, who you going to vote for this November?" And you go, "I'm going to vote for Biden." Then Trump people will be like, "Screw you, I'm not watching your movie, John." Or if you go, "I'm going to vote for Trump," then all the Biden people are like, "I'm not watching your movie." You just go, "Well, we'll see come November who I vote for."
Right.
I've already decided. You play the political smart game and you shut up.
Right.
Rather than alienate an audience.
Whatever I do, I should not admit for writing in Dwayne Johnson on the last ballot.
No.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a made-up story. You would never do such a thing.
Surely not. And I would never be sharing that with my wife, who then was like, "You did what? You wasted a vote?"
I did. No, you wanted Dwayne Johnson to win. He could have won.
I really did, man.
He could have won.
Of all the contenders, man, I wanted Dwayne Johnson, man. I 7 foot tall. I mean, he can wear his combat boots. And just, man, I thought that would be good, man.
We had an election here a couple of weeks ago. We've now got a new prime minister. And six, I think it's going fine. But 6 days into his new reign, there was already people out there going, "Oh, nothing's changed." 6 days. Nothing changes that fast. It really doesn't.
No,
it's got even worse. Yeah. It hasn't got worse because it's been 6 days. And 2 of those were weekends. So, no, it really hasn't. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh.
Hey, so one other thing that I've watched, and this will end my what I've been watching section.
Yeah.
Hit Monkey. It's on Hulu, and it's a Marvel character. And turns out Deadpool thinks that Hit Monkey is one of the greatest assassins of all time. This is what I found out on the internet. So, evidently, they've tag teamed in the comics. But anyway, Hit Monkey is, I think, cool, hilarious. It's nicely done animation. And Jason Sudeikis is the voice of one of the characters. So it's interesting hearing Ted Lasso be an asshole. It's just,
Yeah. And recommended?
Oh, yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
The new Cobra Kai episodes dropped today as well, didn't they?
Oh my God, dude, what's left?
The first third of the final season. Jesus.
But is it really the final season, or are they going to go?
It's the final season that they've split into 3 lumps.
Oh,
so
dude.
there's 5 episodes dropped today. You're getting another 5 in like November. And then you're getting the final 5 at some point in 2025. And people are like so excited today going, oh, we've got the final episodes. Yeah, you really haven't. They've just divided 15 things and you're going to have to wait till next year. So it's, yeah.
Have you noticed more stuff is dropping all at the same time, like Hit Monkey? Once that, they said, season 2 dropped the whole thing. And then there was something else we were watching. I can't remember. I'm looking over my list, but there was another one that the whole season dropped. And, and it's like for Hulu, they were big, like HBO Max, as far as 1 episode per week, please, they're not going to just, but now they just seem to be throwing stuff out.
I think they should have done it with the Acolyte. Thrown it on, sort of thrown it. Some people say they should have thrown it out, but thrown it all on the platform. Thrown it like you wanted to do that person at a hot tub. Just get out of it.
Like, you keep grabbing my girlfriend, and she was hot. She was in a bikini. I mean, like, I get it, but dude, I am a giant, right? Come on, dude.
Exactly.
They should disrespecting me.
They should have dropped the Acolyte in one go and just let everybody complained about it for a week and then just moved on to something else.
Yeah, and maybe the actress wouldn't have had to have written a song and done a music video saying she wants to make white people cry. Maybe it just, like you say, man, everybody would have breezed through it and said, wow, this was, not worth it. And then just moved on to the next thing, the next hate target,
I still haven't seen any racist stuff towards the Acolyte. I've seen homophobics, plenty of that. There's tons of that stuff. People complain about the writing, people complaining that everything looks cheap. And I've seen all of that stuff, but I hadn't seen any of the racist stuff. Other than the rap song that was complaining about it. So I don't know. And usually I see all the hate stuff.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't figure that part out either. I understand she sees herself as non-binary. And I'm not even going to get onto that because I'll say the wrong thing.
That's a whole nother podcast. We'd probably say the wrong thing on that one.
And without meaning to. But I mean, it's like... I was trying to think who played, not Gregory Peck. Who was the guy who was such a leading man, and he was gay back in the old black and white days.
Cary Grant?
Cary Grant, there you go. Yeah, man.
Or Rock Hudson, maybe Rock Hudson.
And Rock Hudson, that's who I'm trying to think of. And so, when he finally came out, did that make you not want to watch those movies anymore? No, because he played a character and he played it well. And I
think the thing is, though, I remember a time when, and I think Anne Hesh was probably, because she had the film coming out 6 Days, 7 Nights with Harrison Ford,
right?
And she came out just before that, because she was dating Ellen DeGeneres, and that film tanked. Right. And I remember people talking about the film at the time. This is pre-internet, going, I don't watch it because I don't buy her in a rom-com with Harrison Ford because I know she's gay in real life. And there are them sort of people, but...
Yeah. But I think she's probably one of the strongest actors in the show. I did think the writing was a little belabored, and I think some of the acting was a little belabored.
Oh,
I mean, it's just like, oh, wait a minute. We have to meet the 22-minute mark? Damn. Well,
who was your...
Yeah.
Have you got a least favorite character in the Acolyte?
Oh. I don't know, man. I mean, like, I would say my least favorite prop are those damn lightsabers that don't stay lit.
Yeah.
I still don't understand that. The kyber crystal, what? I don't know, but I like your explanation that these were prototype models.
Yeah.
You know, these were early models of the lightsaber. Although I think Qui-Gon, this is about the same time that Qui-Gon would have been around, right?
No, this is before. This is like 100 years or so. This is before.
Really?
Before the prequels, because everybody's like, well, you're not going to see anybody. Well, you can see Yoda because he's 800 years when he passes away in Jedi.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's why he's in it. And then everybody lost their mind when somebody else, some other character was in it. Like, he wasn't born until yes, him. Right. They went crazy on that one.
Yeah.
So this is 100. Yeah, this is way before prequels. Yeah. I've checked I've checked Wikipedia. Really, you base your life on Wikipedia. Good website, but give me a break. But my least favorite character in the Acolyte was one of the Jedis who he was in a lot in this last episode. And he was like, oh, come this way. Really well-spoken guy. He was just a bit of a dimwit. And he's like, really? Did you do this? Oh, yes. Well, I did. Him. I'm like, he's terrible.
Get from my memory. Yeah.
Get the guy an acting coach for the love of God.
Yeah. Yeah. And this, you know what, as much as, you know, we have talked about not being mean-spirited.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that it has become a saying around here, especially in my head, that if you start to slow down, and especially if you don't blink, you're pulling a Biden. So there were times there were times in the Acolyte where there was one actor that I just felt like, just say it, man. Quit, just, and I'm just like, no, let's speed this thing up. This is why, you know, it feels long, you know.
And the thing is, it's not necessarily on that actor, because there is somebody behind the camera going, yep, we've nailed it. Move on to the next shot. So it's like that. But if I saw that, and I can't remember, I don't know the actor's name, who was like, you're not great, I don't like you as a character. If I saw him in the street, I wouldn't be like, wait, come here. I'd be like, were you in the Acolyte? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's cool. You're in a Star Wars thing. What was that like? And I would chat to him and part ways. Be like, oh, I just met somebody who's in the Acolyte. It's really cool. We'd be like,
yeah. And then you could even, I would ask, what was up with those lightsabers, man? What, you know, because I would still like that answered. But yeah, man. I remember when the actor who played Jin on Lost, and when he turned out to be kind of, and it wasn't that he was a bad guy. They just, you know, like, he was misunderstood. But anyway, I remember him in an interview, and he speaks immaculate English. And he said he was in the produce section of a grocery, and somebody came up and kicked him in the shin and said, you're an ass.
Yep.
Really? Yes, it's your Jin. Yeah.
We had a lot of that. I mean, I know you've got your soap operas and stuff over there that have run for decades. Right. We do here in the UK as well. And sometimes there'll be like we've got one that's been running since the 1960s. So it's still going. And you'll hear stories now and again how they'll bring a character in and they'll be horrible and they'll start killing people or they'll be mean to somebody. And then they'll be out doing the shopping in real life. And some, you know, people just walk up and start spitting at them or, you're horrible, you're a dick. It's like, he's an actor. So it is pre-internet, but it's just a certain type of, I don't know what they are, but.
I don't get it, man. Because I can get into a movie, but when the credits roll, I know that's the end of the movie. And I know that I watched a bunch of actors, and I know that that's not real life, you know? Yep. I mean, like, Keanu Reeves is a very nice guy by all the videos that we see, right? I would not fear that if he got on the subway that he would suddenly pull his gun out and start John Wicking people on the subway, right? But I don't know, man. People, I'm writing a book, and it's sci-fi, and it's one of 12. That's my plan, and tell a complete story. But there are certain things that I've written in here that I mean, for God's sake, it's a book. I don't want to bump into somebody out at the grocery or movies or whatever. And no, man, it's fiction. It's science fiction on top of that. So, yeah, man, people are weird.
Have you seen Furiosa?
Yes. Dude,
so
that was awesome. I don't know why I didn't put that on the
so
list.
the guy, and I can't remember his character name, but he was one of Immortan Joe's sons.
Yeah.
The big guy.
Yeah.
He was in Fury Road as well, that character. So at one point he was trying to drag the younger Furiosa. Come on, me. Come on.
Yeah.
That scene. There's news articles about this actor guy who's like, he had to publicly come out and go, it's just a character, because people were screaming rapist at him and calling him a pedophile and everything. It's like, it's just a part I'm playing. It's probably on the internet somewhere, but he publicly went out and went, it's not me. It's what George told me to do.
Right.
They're just crazy people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it, man. And going back to what we brought up earlier, man, death threats. I don't understand that. How long has this been going on that I didn't know about this side of things? I mean, I hear the hate, but I mean, death threats, and that was when people started drawing the lines. Like, I don't even want to act anymore because they want to kill me. Anyway, yeah.
Ahmed Best was the earliest one that I found. Right, Jar Jar Binks. Have
you seen the video with him telling his story?
No,
because he got so depressed.
He
was living. Yeah, he almost jumped off one of the bridges up in New York, man. I mean, and it was I forget if it was a sunset or thoughts of his children or whatever. But I mean, man, that guy played Jar Jar to the best of his ability, and he's so excited and happy. And then, and that was another one where a bunch of people said, "Oh, that character's racist," which I still don't understand. I mean, he came up with his own, his own way of talking, and he was there for comedy relief. So yeah, man, that's extreme. But I'm glad that he didn't, jump off the bridge, and I'm glad to see him in what was it? One of the episodes of season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, he was. I mean, how excited would you be as a host of Waxing Cinematic? You get an email and it's a PR person going, would you like to, you and Jake, kind of a chat with Ahmed Best about Star Wars? You'd be like, oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
so would
100%.
I would absolutely love it. I wouldn't be like, screw that guy. No. Right. I didn't really have an issue with Jar Jar Binks. I'm like, it's kind of annoying, but guess what? I'm not 9 years old, so let it slide.
Have you heard about the new Lego movie that's coming out September the 13th, where Jar Jar is a Sith Lord?
That would be amazing.
It's some sort of and I'm sure you will, especially with Annette and her Lego. Well, you both played the Lego video game, but this is some sort of reimagining of the Star Wars universe where everything is different, and which maybe they should have led with that and then done the Acolyte, so we're ready for change. But anyway, it's funny, the commentary that's on YouTube where they are going in depth saying, oh, well, that's right, Jar Jar at times did talk and wave his hand. He did these amazing flips. He did all these crazy things. So he was just covering for the fact that he was a Sith Lord. So anyway.
I'm going to start a podcast up called Jar Jar is Jesus. Jar Jar is Marvel Jesus. Now, mind you, Deadpool. I reckon Jar Jar is Marvel Jesus because he is Disney property now.
That's 100%, man. Dude, I look at all the collectibles that are on this side of the room, and so much is owned by Disney now. There's Marvel, there's Star Wars, there's man. I'm waiting on them to buy DC and then, start putting those together, because there were times where Batman and Spider-Man teamed up. It seemed like maybe Superman and somebody else, I can't remember, but yeah, man, why not? I mean, you have Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson. They can be brothers,
I've heard people be, do you think Marvel and DC will ever be? And they're like, no, it's never going to happen. I'm like, I seem to never going to happen with regards to the Donner cut of Superman 2. That's never going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
We're also never, ever going to get Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's never going to happen. And we're never going to get Spider-Man in the Marvel movies. That's never going to happen either. All three of them did. So who knows?
So maybe we should just start saying, you know what? We're never going to get the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, so that we can get it.
So that we can get it. Yeah.
I would love to see that, man. And it was funny, when we were talking about movies that we like or dislike or whatever, you and I had totally different takes on The Beekeeper.
Oh yeah, I thought it. Honestly, it sucked. So yeah, pretty much terrible.
I enjoyed it. I got to the end. I was like, yeah, man, take that, bad guys. But I mean, we just agree to disagree. We're still podcasting.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
And I think that is what makes movies magical, is being able to watch them and see different aspects, have different thoughts, and share them and let other people watch them and make up their own mind.
Some of my favorite films are films that are widely hated by a lot of people. Blair Witch Project, Meet Joe Black, stuff like that. Steve Jobs. Love all those 3 movies. All 3 of those movies are in my top 10 movies of all time. Not even kidding. And yet a lot of people go, no, Blair Witch is terrible. I'm like, to you, maybe. To me, I think it's great. How can you? Because I think it's great. So go away.
Dude, really? And then it's funny you should bring up Meet Joe Black. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago on a Friday, we went and saw the stage play for Death Takes a Holiday, which that was based on. And it's a musical. But it was really, really good. And it had, it had some humor mixed in. But anyway, my favorite part of that movie is still when they keep looking back at each other as they're walking away. And then, oh my gosh, dude, I would rewind on VHS over and over and just laugh. I didn't have the kids in the room, but
it's like, why is that scene funny? But it is.
Well, it caught me off guard, man.
It caught him off guard as well. It caught Brad Pitt's character off guard as well.
That's right. 100%, man.
But even Brad Pitt hates that film. And he was in it.
No way.
He was on a press tour saying it's terrible. That's why a lot of the reason why it tanked. Because they were like, well, you've got the guy who's in it, so it's terrible. Then I ain't going to watch it. But I really like it. I think it's great.
Wow. I mean, but see, that shows the power of words and why we should be careful with what we say. I know we're ending with a proverb, but I mean, both the Bible and Buddha said that words are powerful and to watch what you say. And so, and if there's one takeaway, this is almost like at the end of the 3rd Spider-Man movie where it's like, okay, Sandman, I forgive you. Thanks. And, it's that big heartwarming moment. Either that or people are like, why? Why did we just, and that's not Venom, but that's beside the point. But yeah, man, people need to think before they comment and slay with words, man.
I think they need to, and I think they also need to be able to go, actually, that thing I've just said, John, I didn't mean to say that. I phrased it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Rather, nope, you've already said it now. Right. You're done. You can never work again in the history of your life. You're done.
That's right. There needs to be a I'm offended.
Exactly. You're done. Well, I didn't mean to call you yank. Well, you already said it. Well, yeah, but I didn't really understand what it means. Oh, now you're trying to backtrack.
Right.
Cancel the tour. Scrap it.
Back in 2003, there's a tweet that you made, right?
Yeah. There probably is, actually. Maybe not 2003 unless I've got time travel, but 2006, I'm like, is there anybody else here on Twitter? Yeah. One day I hope Elon will come and save this platform.
Right. That's right. Wish granted. That's that Disney. Who is it? The godmother with the little wand that turned that pumpkin into a stagecoach and dressed her up, man. Yeah.
So I think my closing Wonder Years episode moral would be: if you don't like a film, don't feel the need to threaten the life of anybody who made it, be it Kelly Marie Tran or Leslie Jones from Ghostbusters or John Boyega. He came under it for Force Awakens. How dare you? You've not got white pasty skin. Just give me a break. Watch your film. If you don't like it, watch another one.
Right. And that was a shame. I mean, I understand why he has, some beef with Disney, because here he was, an established character, and then whoop, oh no, he got left at the bus stop. Or, he was on the bike and he got his flip-flop stuck and he's out of the second
off
movie,
his speeder bike. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, there has to be entertainment for everybody, and I feel it's only fair for whoever you are to have a good chance to see yourself on the screen. Whatever version, however you see yourself, you should be represented on screen. I think that's something that a lot of the audience forgets. This isn't your world, this is our world. It's like,
But
these rage people go down the highway and they're like, man, yeah, this is, no, we're paying for this road through taxes, and this is a shared place, and we should be kind to each other.
But there isn't one of these, and we'll focus on Star Wars a little bit. There isn't one of these nasty Star Wars trolls that wouldn't stick their tongue up Jabba the Hutt's butt to be in a Star Wars movie.
Right. Oh,
they would all do it. Otherwise, they wouldn't watch Star Wars.
The fact that Daniel Craig is some unknown stormtrooper because he loves Star Wars. So
you know where he is in that?
No, huh?
He is one of the stormtroopers when, and it's a while since I've seen it, but who's tied up in the chair, in the thingy chair? It's Ray, isn't it? It's Ray that's tried. He's one of the stormtroopers that comes in. He's in that particular scene, yeah. Rumor has it Kevin Smith's in there somewhere. I don't know where he is, but he's apparently in there. Obviously, Simon Pegg we know about, but yeah, Daniel Craig's it.
Right. Yeah, man.
All these Star Wars people would kiss Jabba's butt to be in a Star Wars movie. I would,
man.
So would I.
mean, yeah.
Get out of the way, John. I want in. That's me. I'm done.
I mean, dude, even as much as I've complained about the Acolyte, maybe I could have been that character that you thought was awful. I could just be the older Padawan.
You would have been better. I recently watched you Dirt Cheap Therapy again. I'm like, John would have been better as a stormtrooper. Yeah.
I would have been kind of like that dad bod version of Boba Fett,
before the CG the other one on the Irish one.
Yep.
Hello there, my lad. Yeah, that one. Wonder what
that was a fun movie, man. I'm glad you've enjoyed that.
Yes, it was. But yeah, so the moral of the story is, don't threaten the life of people that make movies, or there will be no movies. I don't understand that at all.
Dude, even I think I've sent you the link, but it won't make your YouTube channel. But the movie that we did, Gorilla, which is all about, guerrilla filmmaking. And there's still some parts in that make me laugh. And then there's other parts that are like, we'll all get death threats. So, but yeah, man. But I mean, when we did it, man, we thought we were being Borat clever.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to get the movie out, and it just, some people didn't want to participate in our globalization of Gorilla the movie. So, but
their loss.
Yeah, man. I was just thinking about that movie poster. That's what you need on your wall.
The Gorilla one, yeah, it's a good poster.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's Vanelle, and she's lighting her cigar on the burning camera. So yeah.
Oh,
which,
cool.
by the way, another just total random note. Text to image, which Adobe has Firefly. So I was like, you know what? I wonder what will come up if I put hot chick on the burning planet. And she was blonde, and it was truly a chick. I didn't know if it would be like, like their interpretation of chick, like it was going to be like a little peep or something. But it was blonde, beautiful woman. She was in a bikini, and but she was on a planet. It was like a fisheye view, and there were flames everywhere. But it wasn't what I was hoping for, man.
No.
So
one day, John, one day.
Yeah.
And talking about 1 days, what's your plan for the rest of 2 day?
My wife is due home any minute, so probably dinner. I don't know, man. So probably some entertainment. Probably finish Con Man. And then, dude, let me tell you, the Great British Bake Off or Baking Show or whatever it is. Oh my God, dude, that is our continual go-to. It's like, I don't know what we have to watch. That's it, man. Oh, dude. And random footnote: when you see the logo, let me know what you see.
Okay, it might be a different logo though, because it's a different name over there. We have it as the British Bake Off or the Great British Bake Off. You seem to have it as a Great British Baking Show, so the logo will probably be different.
Maybe, but it's the little arty thing underneath.
Okay.
I'd like to know what you see, because I see something that Michelle does not.
Okay.
And I will think have a look. Funny.
Because that's been running like 13 years, that show. It's been running a long time over here.
100%, man.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I think Prue and Paul look the same as they did in the beginning, man. You know, but yeah. Excellent show. What about you, man?
I'm gonna go try and find that South Park episode with the Disney. I'm gonna go try and find that, making it watch it straight after Bambi, and then it'll be bedtime, I think, for me. So
yeah, you'll enjoy it, dude. Yes. And this is just in time for us to sign off because we've been warned of a severe thunderstorm that is going to overtake us, and it's just now starting to shake the house. So perfect timing, man.
Well, stay safe in that house. I don't want to see you end up in Oz, the prison, or the the place where Dorothy went.
Yeah, I don't want to go to either place, really.
No,
so, yeah.
they don't sound pleasant. But you stay safe, and I will chat to you soon, John.
Fun as always, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.